Alrighty, hello everyone, it's SilverCal here, and I just finished work, so I'm feeling pretty damn awesome. I actually have the entire weekend off, which is an even bigger bonus, so I'm probably going to do a live stream tomorrow night. But anywho, I would like to talk about the video games that are coming out this March, because there is a crazy amount of big titles being released. We never get this in the month of March. Well, you get like a lot of games being released every month, but you normally never hear about half of them, if not more than half of them, because they're just not that noteworthy. Like, you'll never know that they existed. But this month, there's almost 20 titles that I think are worth talking about here. And you sometimes don't even see this many big releases during the fall season. Like, during past Octobers and Novembers, we didn't have like 20 games to talk about. It's nuts how many games are coming out. So anyway, let's get on with this list. So by chance, if you had not heard that these games were being released, hey, I just helped you out, kind of. I hurt your wallet, but your video gaming life will be better. Anyway, let's get on with this. So a few days ago on March 5th, which was one of the biggest release dates for a lot of games here, it started off with Tomb Raider coming out for the Xbox 360 and PS3. This was in my top 10 video games of 2013 that I was looking forward to. It has dropped down a little bit since I heard of other releases, but I'm still looking forward to it. I'm waiting for a price drop. I've heard really good reviews and really good things about it, but I'm just going to wait a little bit longer. Next up, SimCity, and this is kind of like the reboot and rebirth of SimCity to an extent. They have had a little bit of a hard time launching with, I don't know, server or connection issues, something like that. But I am still looking forward to that, so I'm thinking that whenever they fix this up, I will probably pick it up, because I haven't played a SimCity in I don't know how long, so I got that itch again. And I was actually talking to another YouTuber, Kevin K-North2, about this, and he really got me excited for this, so I'm probably going to pick that up. Thank you, Kevin. Next up is Atelier Ayesha, The Alchemist of Dusk, which is a PS3 exclusive. It's a JRPG, kind of a quirky RPG, I guess, where you build, where you get materials and you build your own stuff and you craft stuff. And I think it's the fourth Atelier on the PS3. There are a few on the PS2 as well, but this is the fourth on the PS3. Next up is The Amazing Spider-Man on the Wii U. Now, granted, this is a very old game because it came out like 8 months ago or something like that on the Xbox 360 and PS3. But if you hadn't picked it up before, you can for the Wii U. Next up is Castlevania Mirror of Fate for the 3DS, another Castlevania game coming to handhelds. Next up is MLB 13 The Show, coming out for the PS3 and Vita, and that's good news for baseball fans who have a Vita, because the Vita, there's not a lot of games that have been announced so far for this year, but if you're into baseball, you have a Vita, there you go. The MLB games almost always get crazy high reviews, so if you're into baseball, you'll probably enjoy it. Next up is the following week, which is just a few days from now, and this has my most anticipated game for the month of March, and that is StarCraft II Heart of the Swarm for PC and Mac. And it's not even a game, it's an expansion, but whatever. I could not wait for this game. StarCraft II is one of my top 5 most favorite games of all time. It's just, I love it. I put 400 hours, and once this expansion is released, those 400 hours won't mean anything. It's just, the expansion is just going to completely change the landscape of StarCraft. And I'll be a noob all over again. But it'll be fun. So I can't wait for that. That's a day one buy for sure, for me. Next up is God of War Ascension for the PS3, the exclusive. I'm not really a big God of War fan. And it's funny because later on, Gears of War Judgment is also being released. But it's weird because, okay, first of all, Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. God of War 1, 2, and 3. PS3 exclusive, Xbox 360 exclusive. The initials, GOW, for both of them. And then they have Ascension and Judgment, which are prequels that don't have numbers in them. So it's kind of like, it's weird how that kind of worked out. And it's also, you know, normally these games would be released during the fall season, but they're being released in March. So I think that, to me, a lot of fans are kind of seeing God of War Ascension and Gears of War Judgment not on the same level as the previous titles. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And I'm sure that if you're excited for this game, I mean, it's not going to, Gears of War 4 or Judgment, like I'm going to care. If you're excited for the title, that's awesome. But I think that for most people, they're not seeing it on the same level as the other games. But anyway, that's coming out next week. After that, now we start getting into the Nintendo dates. The Nintendo is notorious for never releasing on the stupid Tuesday that everybody else releases. I don't know why. They just, we'll just pick Monday or Sunday. Who cares? Let's not release when everybody else releases their game. Anyway, they are releasing Lego City Undercover for the Wii U. Now, if you're a Wii U owner, you have not had any games to play ever since launch, pretty much. It's been really dry. Other than the launch games, there hasn't really been anything. We were supposed to get Rayman Legends, but that got postponed. Stupid. But anyway, now you finally have another game, possibly. I wasn't really looking forward to this, but once again, Kevin K. North too kind of started talking to me about that, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of wanting this, and because I really want to play the Wii U again, I'm still playing it, but just not as much as I used to. I'm thinking of picking this game up. It's kind of like any other Lego game before, but it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto with rated E for everyone, if that makes sense. Next up is now the following day, the Tuesday, which is when every other game is released. We have Gears of War Judgment for the 360, like I said earlier. Once again, a prequel. I don't think it's going to be on the same level as the other Gears of War. I could be wrong. It's possible. For one thing, though, the God of War game, that does have multiplayer, and the other God of War games did not. So that's one extra thing that, could add some more time to that game. Next up, after Gears of War, there is Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for the Wii U. Now this is kind of like just, it's the same Monster Hunter 3 game that was on the Wii, but it is being released for the Wii U, so in HD. Anyway, I don't know why I'm doing that, but it's also, they've added extra quests and things like that, so another game that you should look forward to, if you're into, like, fantasy games where you're running around in an adventure, Monster Hunter 3, where you just go and kill a bunch of monsters, that might be for you, because if you have a Wii U, this is a game that you could easily put in 100 hours. So, and that might hold you up until the next Wii U release, because there's not a lot at the moment. In the near future. Next up is Need for Speed Most Wanted U for the Wii U as well. Another game that was released a few months back. So it's not as old as Amazing Spider-Man. And it does say Most Wanted U, so there might be extra goodies in there that the other systems don't have. After that, we have Dead or Alive 5 Plus for the Vita. Another game that is, just a little bit extra content specifically for the Vita. So if you want to play your Dead or Alive 5 on the go, there you go. And that's one of the only few titles of the Vita that is being released this month. And pretty much the entire year at the moment. Jeez, the Vita. Get your act together, man. Next up is March 21st. I guess Sony's guilty of doing the random day release as well, because I think they're doing that with The Last of Us as well. It's being released on a Friday of all days. Well, I get that. Friday kind of works. It's like the weekend, which means you can actually play the game instead of being sick on a release day. But anyway, this is being Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory, which is another very quirky RPG game that kind of makes fun, or JRPG game that kind of makes fun of RPG games. So that's cool though. This is like the year of RPGs. There are so many freaking RPGs, and Sony has the most of them. But it's a good year to be an RPG fan, and I'm one of them. So I'm just happy. I don't know what that face was. I did some weird facial expressions. But anyway, that was my happy, kind of tired, I just finished work face. And I'm happy for RPGs. Anyway, I looked way too into that. Way too into that. After that is March 24th, another weird Nintendo day for two 3DS games. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which is the sequel to Luigi's Mansion on GameCube, and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity, also for the 3DS. I've never really been into the Pokemon Dungeon games, but if you're a fan of it, rejoice, Pokemon fans. And last but not least, March 26th, with Army of Two Devil's Cartel for the 360 PS3. I have no interest in that, but the next two games are some of my most anticipated games of the year. So this month, there's 3 games that are in my top 10 most anticipated games of the year, with StarCraft 2, and the next 2 titles that are being released on March 26th, BioShock Infinite for the 360 PS3, and I don't know which system I'm getting it on yet. I have BioShock 1 and 2 on 360, but my brother's starting to get into the BioShock series, and he has a PS3, so not sure yet. And finally, Pandora's Tower for the Wii, not the Wii U, the Wii. This is the completes basically the 3 games that Operation Rainfall wanted to get, which is Xenoblade Chronicles Last Story and Pandora's Tower. We're finally getting that, and I just cannot wait to play that game. It's an RPG specifically for the Wii, and it looks awesome. Let me know in the comments below what you are most looking forward to this month, if you're going to be picking up anything on day one. For myself, I will be picking up StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm, day one, Bioshock Infinite, day one, Pandora's Tower, day one, and then the two games that I'm not sure of are Lego City Undercover and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Not sure yet what I'm going to be doing with those games, but those are my most anticipated for March, and I will probably be picking up a few other titles that were released in March, just later on down the line when they do get a price drop. So, you've been Bearded In. Thanks for watching, everyone. Beardage!